Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in 2 minutes. Excellent
listening
locations are still available all around Showcase Promenade. Due to the use of
alcohol and opinions
around the lagoon, for your safety, we request that you remain on the promenade side of all railings. During the show, please watch your step and take small children firmly by the hand. Once again, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Explorers podcast, where each week we explore the many avenues of the great Disney universe. So this week, joining us is Adrianne.
Hello.
And Jessica.
Hi, everybody.
And Milford.
Hello.
Melanie did her one-and-done showing last week, or last 2 weeks ago, since I haven't gotten that episode out yet, because life. So you'll get 2 episodes this week. You can binge listen to us. With the opening of Toy Story Land coming this week, today is the 25th. Toy Story Land opens on the 30th, which I believe is Friday. So Saturday, okay.
Yes,
Thank
Saturday.
you. You will be hearing this episode before that, I promise, because otherwise it won't make much sense after that. I mean, it will, but it won't kind of be relevant. So what we're going to do is we're kind of going to go through the attractions and the one eatery that has been, for everything we know that's been put out by Disney into public. We're kind of just going to go over and do like a little preview of what's coming online, in case you haven't read it anywhere else, and kind of our thoughts on it. I'm not sure who of us is going to see it first. Probably Adrianne.
Yeah, I'm going in 2 weeks.
You're going in 2 weeks. That's right. So then she can give us we can revisit and do like a mini report on it or something of that nature when she gets back. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I guess, first of all, in looking at a map of the land, I thought the land was going to open up at the end of Pixar Place there, past where Toy Story Mania currently exists. I know they closed the entrance and they were moving it, and I thought they were closing the entrance because they were making like the main entrance to the land there. Well, they are not. I guess the main entrance to the land is going to be on that little where you used to just past
your passes, right?
Just past where like the Pirates Adventure was and the Narnia attraction, that building, I guess that roadway there where the bathrooms are just before where the old Fast Passes were, that looks like that's the roadway to lead into Toy Story Land. And the entrance to Toy Story Mania now is on the complete opposite end of the building. Right. So I guess Pixar Place is just going to still be a dead end with the wall at the other side of it. I don't know.
Well, that'll eventually lead into Star Wars Land, right? Because you can see the construction from that side.
I assume so, but that
there'll actually be like 2 or 3 entrances into that land. So
yeah,
that makes no sense thematically, but I guess flow is what that park has been horrible at since it opened. So why fix it now?
It is.
Because it just doesn't make any sense. So, in theory, and looking at the map that's on the Disney Experience app, there's only one way in and one way out. Because it didn't look like it looped around and dumped you back in on Pixar Place.
Right.
At least as of now. Maybe when everything's said and done, it will, but that's kind of a strange transition. Because I know Star Wars Land does literally back right up to where Toy Story Land is, but we'll talk about that in another year and a half when that's open.
Granted, though, they could, talking about how like you transition from Africa into Pandora.
True.
Yeah, I mean, they made it work.
They made it work.
So,
That's true. That's true. It's a long series of bridges, but it works.
right. It's a nice little quiet walk.
That's right. And off topic really quick, because you mentioned Pandora, and I had not paid attention much because we didn't spend a lot of time there on our last trip of any of the background music and stuff, but I was at my brother's house on Sunday, and he had this loop playing that I thought was Rivers of Light, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. He was like, oh, no, this is the Pandora background. He was like, whoa, where did you find that? I need this in all my music-loving things. So if anybody's a member of DCOT Radio, which is actually a great online streaming service, you have to become a member to listen. It's just their way of controlling stuff, which I'm all for. You can either be a non-paying member or you can be a supporter, and it just gains you more hours of listening time, and you get to build playlists and so on and so forth. But they have the entire Pandora background loop
that's cool.
on their site. It's about 65 minutes long, and it's really, really cool, really fantastic. So for any other audiophiles out there, you can go and check. It may be other places, I don't know. That's the first place that I have heard it. YouTube is known for having a lot of good background loops as well if you're looking for stuff by various people. So, but this is a nice, clean, high quality. It's not a it seems like it's the studio recording of it. It's not somebody is recording it live and ambient. You have noise in the background and everything else. It's a really nice recording. So if that's your thing, you can go find it there. Anyway, so back to Toy Story. So I don't know, the land as a whole to me looks fun, which is, I guess, is what it's supposed to be. It just looks like it's going to be like a whimsical, just happy play area. I mean, I guess the premise behind it is you are shrinking down to the size of a toy and you're in Andy's backyard. So everything, all the decor and the set design is all going to be huge, kind of a la, if you ever went and meet and greet with Tinkerbell, or like the old Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play set, which was very cool.
And the defunct now Bugs Land, right? In Disneyland, isn't that shrinking down to the size of a bug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea is that you're underneath all the clovers and you're...
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. I mean, I like that stuff. If it works,
Yeah. I mean, a Bug's Land is probably not nearly as exciting as Toy Story Land is going to be, but even just walking through it with that effect is kind of cool because it's nothing like any of the other lands in the park, so it stands out for that reason alone.
Right. Absolutely. It is a whole land, and what has been released and what we know of so far is basically 2 major attractions, if you would, or 1 major attraction and 1 day ticket, and a quick service eatery.
Right.
We have the Slinky Dog Coaster, which I guess is going to be, or Slinky Dog Dash, which is going to be the main event besides Toy Story Mania. I'm sorry. So you have, I forget that that's actually a part of that land now. So now you have
right.
2 major attractions, and then I would assume the Alien Swirling Saucers is going to be the lesser one. And
yeah.
I guess I'll start with that one. So from what I've heard from that, it is kind of the same ride system as Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Very similar, I believe. Which I guess it's fun. I don't know. I hear good and bad about that, Jessica. I don't know how popular it is there.
Explain how that works to me, because I can't figure out how to ride cars. I don't understand it.
It's like bumper cars going crazy, I think.
But in a controlled manner?
In a controlled
environment. Yeah, they don't actually touch each other.
Okay.
Right,
so which ride in Disneyland do they say it's like?
Like Mater's or the old Luigi's Mater's Junkyard Jamboree?
The Junkyard Jamboree, it's the same exact floor as the Tea Party. So you're going kind of in big figure eights. But when you're in the car, it's the back of the car swings from side to side. So you feel like you're just kind of, it feels like you're in less control than the teacup because they don't spin. They just kind of whip.
Oh,
so it's a sideways motion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I've heard that this is the same, I think, ride system as that. It's just you're in.
Okay.
It is.
You're in little.
Yeah.
You're in little spaceships, and I guess they power up, and I guess you can be chosen to be the chosen one by the claw. So I don't know what that means. I'm just going by what I've read.
Yeah,
So-
it's a really fun ride, and people that I know that get really motion sick on, say, the teacups have no problem with it because it's
good.
not spinning.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Because I can't go on the teacups, as I've said it. Oh, good. Melanie will be happy too, so we can ride it together.
Yeah, my
And not
brother
be-
gets
and not be
horribly
sick when we're
nauseous
done.
on the teacups, and he loves Mater, so you'll
Okay,
be fine.
cool. I mean, I've seen videos of that Mater thing. It's simplistic, but it looks like it's a hell of a lot of fun because Mater.
It's so fun,
Mater just makes it fun. I mean, I don't know.
and it goes a lot faster than you think it's gonna go, so it catches you by surprise.
Well, there was in Connecticut, where I am in Rye, New York. There's Playland, which is a park that's been there
I've been
forever.
there.
Right. So Playland has a ride called the Whip, which is basically what these are modeled after. Now, so the Whip it's an oval. So you get in it. It's like 2-3 people to a car, and there's a junior whip for kids, and then there's like the adult whip. So it's so simple. There's no theming behind it. You're just in these cars, and you go along a straight way for a little while along like the oval, and then when it comes to the circular to go around the other way, it literally just whips, and it whips you. It whips you around. You go slow for a second, it whips you again. So this seems to be just a more modern play on that, whereas you're going in different directions, but the whipping motion, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that old ride at Playland. I mean, hey, listen, this is a land that's, I think, mainly geared towards younger children. Because if you think about it, when studios first opened, and even until maybe Star Tours came online, there wasn't, not that it wasn't geared towards younger kids, toddlers, like, 9 and under, if you want to say. But the stuff that was there was kind of out of their dimension, if you would. You know what I mean? It wasn't stuff that they kind of seemed to be interested in. And it's kind of like the thing with Epcot, but not as, I guess... I can't think of another word. It wasn't as bad as when Epcot opened. People were like, oh my God, there's nothing to do here for children. I think the studios was the same way. I mean, you had the Great Movie Ride, you had shows, but attractions like moving rides, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot. Besides the tram tour, and there was Great Movie Ride, and that was about it. Star Tours wasn't even an opening. Maybe it was. Did it open there? I don't remember. I should know these things, but I can't retain everything. So anyway,
Okay, we forgive you.
Point being, I think the people that are getting all crazy about Toy Story Land and its theming and what they decided to put in it as instead of these ridiculous thrill rides, I think are forgetting that there are numerous thrill rides already at the studios, being the Tower of Terror and the Rock and Roller Coaster. Take them as you will on whatever level of thrill you want to consider it. Everybody's different, but in the general consensus of like Disney World park attractions, those two are pretty, to me, that's as thrill ridey as I'm getting.
I mean, pretty much they're up there with any theme park thrill rides to me. You know what I mean?
I would think so.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm with you. Like right now in Hollywood Studios, my kids don't do anything. They follow us around while we use Rider Swap, and and then like even my 4-year-old doesn't like Indiana Jones because he doesn't like the fire.
Right.
So like my 7-year-old watches it, and they're both too old now for the Disney Junior show, which I know is changing, but still like.
Right.
So there's nothing, and they don't like the Muppets. So
no,
no, not in the. It's okay. I don't need to watch that show again either. But yeah, so I mean, for my kids, definitely they need something more to do there. I mean, studios just needs more in general, but
right.
Which I mean, it's coming.
That's coming. Right.
Yeah. So I have no problems with these being kiddier rides, especially since a lot of people are, I know we're not there yet, but Slinky Dog Dash, they're likening it to Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
Which is fun, even as an adult.
I think it's a great ride. People complain because it's too short. It's this, that. I get it. It's. But how many roller coasters or any rides do you know are anywhere near as long as any of the ones at Disney World? Most of them are a minute long. These crazy roller coasters. It's not like, it's not like these. And the theming definitely isn't anywhere near what Disney usually does.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not a coaster junkie, so I could be way off topic. I mean, I know there's plenty of other theme parks all over the United States and the world that have these ridiculous roller coasters that go straight up, straight down, 90 miles an hour, this, that, and the other thing. But I don't know. To me, 45 seconds of that isn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Or
but
whatever,
even then,
but that's me.
We visit Universal fairly often, and my kids can go to Dr. Seuss Land, and that's it.
And that's
what I mean?
right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going on Hulk or whatever the Potter one is, or I don't even know what else they have there. The free fall thing is still there.
The what?
The free fall, Dr. Doom.
Yes,
is that still there?
They still have Dr. Doom. They can't do that. My kid, they tried to go on the Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
Terrified him for a straight year. He still talks about it. So,
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's just screens.
That was my favorite one.
I love it, but apparently I can't remember. It's been so long since I've ridden it. But
Me
there's
too.
fire and like a free fall feeling kind of section. And I mean, he was 3 at the time.
Yeah, right.
But he said, "Daddy, I want to ride it." So, but getting back to it, so I'm totally okay with a more kiddie section.
Oh, I am too, because it's right in my oldest is 13 and a half, so he's not, it's not his wheel, but I know he's going to love it and have fun, because as we've talked about on here numerous times with all of us who have kids that were born during that time, they grew up, Toy Story was their movies.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't born when those movies came out, but those were the movies they watched. So there's such a familiarity about it. And I'm just excited to see how my kids are going to react to it. My youngest, who's going to be 6, it's stuff's in his wheelhouse, because it's the same thing like you just said, Adrianne. It's my family's at that age where it's hard, because my older 2, because there's such an age difference between my oldest 2 and my youngest, they can kind of do everything now. Their height is fine. They're not scared of the bigger, other than Tower of Terror, pretty much. They're happy with everything. Mm-hmm. And so I got the little guy in tow who's hard. Either got to do rider swap, or I generally stay off some of the bigger ones, just unfortunately, just because they're starting to bother me. So I'm more than looking forward to being able to go on something that I can ride numerous times in a day. I know it's not going to happen because it's going to be busy, but you know what I mean? If it's something like a cross between Barnstormer and Mine Train, I'm all about it. Especially if it's smooth. Mine Train is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You ride that roller coaster and then you go. I know it's different experiences, and I love Thunder Mountain and Space Mountain for what they are, but you can't ride any of those back to back, because it's like, at least not in the order, at least not Mine Train first. You have to do the other old ones first and Mine Train last, because then you're like, my kidneys can get a break.
Yeah.
So, I watched, we've all seen the Parks Blog cast member preview video that they put out of all the cast members on it. I don't know how you can't say it's not fun. Who cares how long it is? That was my thing about the same thing with the Mine Train. Who cares if it's not more than 2 minutes or so long? Neither is Thunder, neither is Space, and neither is Everest. Splash Mountain is a completely different experience. It's not a coaster, it's a log flume, so that's longer inherent just because that's what it is. I don't know how long you want these things to be. Space Mountain's like the perfect length. If you any more of that, then it's like you're going to have to wear a mouth guard, because your teeth are going to rattle out of your mouth. Yeah. So, I don't know.
But I agree with what you said on which ones are going to be the e-ticket attractions. They're definitely playing up the Slinky Dog coaster. And when we went to go make our fast passes, that was the one I was making sure I was getting.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Definitely. Yeah, and Toy Story Mania is going to be a walk-on.
No. Listen, everything is the night we're going to Hollywood Studios, it's open till 12:30.
Wow.
So, and we're staying at Boardwalk. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, we're
and don't forget, they added a 3rd track to Toy Story Mania.
Yes.
Right. So
which
has
helped anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
The 3rd track helped, crazily.
Yeah.
with getting fast passes and or standby times, which is great.
Yeah, just like it Soarin'. It did
Oh,
the same
absolutely.
thing.
Oh, it made Soarin', I mean, so much more manageable.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what the wait times are going to be for everything, and if it's going to be as crazy as the Pandora. Like Chris, my husband, and I were talking about it before we started recording, and I feel like Pandora was so hyped up. It was on Good Morning America. Everybody, like mainstream media, was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I've seen as much.
No, I don't think so.
Story.
Maybe locally it's been hyped up a little more, but it's definitely not on the national market. I agree with you. Maybe,
and I don't see like YouTubers talking about it as much.
Good.
So,
they can all stay away. Every single flipping one of them.
Hey, no, I love me some Tim Tracker, okay? But, I mean, and even he hasn't. He goes into the parks occasionally and goes, here's where it's going to be. But, you know, that's pretty much it. So, like I said, I'm just kind of curious to see.
So do you think that's just because it's kind of more for kids? I'm just wondering why it's not getting that much attention.
I think
so, yes.
And it's been delayed. The schedule has been delayed. So I don't think they were as able to put, there was no AP or DVC preview.
No.
So, you know, fewer lay people have been able to go in there. There hasn't, and I don't think they've allowed media in there as much either, because they're still,
I don't think
from
so.
what I heard as of last week, they were still doing finishing touches on stuff.
Did I read today they had a soft opening today?
I don't know.
Possibly, I don't know.
That's possible. 5 days out.
Yeah,
I thought I read that somewhere, but I'm not entirely.
It could have been, but I'm surprised they didn't do an AP thing, even if it is a few days before.
Well, you know they're doing one in September. Did you get
okay.
that? It's I can't remember how much it is or when it is exactly because I ignored it. But it's essentially not like a special ticketed event, but a time period where you had to have your reservation and you can only go in. But it's 3 months after it opens.
Right. Well, maybe they figure because then everything's. So it's not really a preview like they used to do, because they did that. Right. I think Pandora worked. Pandora they did beforehand, and it was a set time. You were allowed a couple hours or whatever.
And you did the new Fantasyland one, right?
I did the new Fantasyland one with my brother, yes. And that was awesome. But
someone explained it to me that Pandora was basically complete. They were just waiting for all the vegetation to grow.
Pretty much.
Whereas this one is, like I said, the schedule has been a little delayed.
Yeah. Well, the same thing with New Fantasyland, because the Mine Train wasn't online yet. Everything else was running, because Mine Train didn't open, I think, until the following year after New Fantasyland opened.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It did not open with the whole with Ariel and Storytime with Belle and all the other stuff and Storybook Circus.
So, like I said, though, I'm curious to see how this lack of hype, almost outside of the Disney community, obviously, impacts crowd levels and wait times, and if it's going to be because the park hours, like I said, it's open from 7 a.m. to 12:30.
Right.
When we're there in 2 weeks, and they did not do that for Pandora.
No, they didn't. Well,
so it's
foolishly.
Foolishly. So now I just wonder if they've planned ahead and if it's going to be worth it.
I'd like to think they learned, even if they overcompensate, and by 11 o'clock the place is. It's not going to be dead, but that it's not going to be a zoo. But I think, maybe I said it before, I don't remember. I think because the Pandora was completely and totally new concept, not a Disney property, not anything that ever had to do anything with Disney, and it was so foreign to people, I think, because even though the movie, I think, did well at the box office, I don't remember the whole thing, it didn't seem like it had a popular... Like, there was no cult following that I knew of it. And I know we've talked about this when we talked about Pandora, but Toy Story is Toy Story. It's ingrained. It's been, since 1995, it's been a staple, not only for Disney and Pixar, but just as... Like
childhood. It's our life.
Right. It's exactly. So it's familiar. Parents know it. Kids who were, teenagers then, most... could be parents now and bringing their kids there, so there's a whole sort of nostalgia as well as safety. You know what you're getting, you know the characters, you know the storyline, you know everything. Pandora's like, and I think you said it before too, this is geared towards geared to children. It's just that's what it is.
Yeah.
And whether the masses like it or not, too bad. Because, listen, I mean, I know Disney's a family park. If you're not appealing to the children, the families aren't going to come. I mean, yes, there are plenty of stuff for adults to do, but, you know, you're not getting the adults or repeat and kids who turn into adults who come back and so on and so forth and rinse, recycle, repeat without getting the kids there first.
Yeah.
Or getting the parents to bring their kids there because there's stuff for the kids to do. It's a cycle, I guess. You know, because not everybody is kind of... I don't know what the numbers are. I could be off base here, but I don't think groups of... So let's take our demographic in this podcast. Groups of 30-year-olds to 30 to 50-year-olds are saying, okay, let's just... Disney World's going to be my thing. I'm going to Disney World all the time. That's my vacation spot. That's what I'm doing. Because I want to go and ride, you know, Toy Story rides. I don't think that's the general... Unless you're a local, as far as for a vacation spot, unless you have children, it's not, you know, the norm. I mean, like, my family does it. Milford does it. Adrianne does it. Jessica does it in California. You know, Melanie's transitioned over to cruise lines, but when her kids were younger, they went as a family. I don't know how often her and her husband would go by themselves, but all of us have been to parks without our children, those who have children, numerous times, and will continue to do so as many times as we possibly can. Yep. So, you know, we may not be what they're, you know, the norm, but, you know, families is what they're trying to get in there. So, I don't know. Now, does this correspond with any of the summertime, like, resort packages or deals or any of that other stuff? Like, I haven't been following that. Like, have they done... I don't think they did any free dining stuff. That I don't keep track of any of that, the travel agent part of stuff like that, like the deals. But because being a, you know, DVC, you don't...
There is free dining this fall.
In the fall, but not in the summer. Nothing correlated with, like, the opening of, like...
No.
You know, hotel packages or this, that, and the other thing.
No,
okay.
They wouldn't do anything crazy like that.
So what about merch? Because I know, I mean, we're not talking about Pixar Pier right now, but they have released a ton of new merchandise because it's a new land. Are they doing that with Toy Story Land, or is it kind of all the same?
I would like to think they're going to have new stuff, but I was thinking about that. Like, there's been Toy Story toys and merchandise forever, so unless you're
there's one specific to the rides. So you can get a Slink Dog car.
There was there was a Disney Parks vlog video about
alien, like, ears, headband, or something. I'm sure there will be some specific stuff to the new land, but other than that, it's got to be the same Toy Story toys and stuff that's been around for, you know, 20-something years.
Well, yeah, it's like the slushy cup that's got the little green...
Yeah, that's going to be the souvenir
alien
cup.
at the bottom of it.
Right.
It's just like the rose mugs. It's just a different character in it.
Right. Got you.
And it lights up or something.
Right. I'm sure there'll be a popcorn bucket or something, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was wondering about the merchandise stuff, too. Like, how much new stuff, besides, like, the attraction-specific things, are going to be out there. But other than that, it's
or just... new snacks, like pastries or... You know,
right. Yeah, I haven't seen
like that.
Too much about the snack stuff. I mean, there is the one eatery, Woody's Lunchbox, I believe, which had a pretty decent menu that I saw for a quick serve place. It didn't seem to have all the exact same stuff. You know, it had breakfasts and lunches, it seemed, and some adult beverages, which was you needed. You know, that's important.
I know you're supposed to shrink down to the size of a toy, but I still just... How do you not have Pizza Planet in Toy Story Land?
I know. Because all they did was rename it Rizzo's and serve the same crappy pizza and just...
Oh my god, that Pizza Planet was so bad.
And take out all the games.
So horrible. Right. But at least have like a game... I know people... You know, the arcades seem to be shrinking and going away in all the resorts, so... To throw it in a park, I don't know, but yeah, that seemed like a big miss to me, like an actual Pizza Planet, like a good one, like the movie had,
right?
Not the half-assed job they did over there, but so I don't know. So we hit one of the attractions. So the eatery, since we're on the food, seemed to have some pretty different stuff. I mean, I'm looking at the menu now, so there's like a yogurt parfait, breakfast bowl, which is these potato barrels, which is basically tater tots, and scrambled eggs, smoked turkey and peppers on sourdough bread, a s'mores thing. Lunch and dinner, they've got like a barbecue brisket meal, a Monte Cristo, a grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm just not sure that Monte Cristo. I've never put raspberry jam.
Yeah, I was confused by that. That's not right. I don't like Swiss cheese, so I don't eat Monte Cristos, but raspberry
No, but it's
jam
just a deep-fried, basic grilled cheese, maybe some meat in it, maybe not, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
It's actually a deep-fried club sandwich is what it really technically is.
I wonder if I could ask for it without the raspberry jam.
I'm sure
it's always on the side.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just interesting. It's an interesting choice.
It is very interesting, yeah. I mean, and then they have
I happen to like it with the jam.
I've just never heard of it that way, so it's just.
I haven't either.
That's the way they serve it in Disneyland.
Is it really? The famous one that everybody.
Yeah, I get it without it. I'm
Okay.
so sorry, Milford.
Is that the Blue Bayou?
They have it at Cafe Orleans or at the Blue Bayou.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Really? I may have to try it. I'm definitely not going to put the jam on it, but I may just have to try it. I don't like Swiss cheese, but maybe with everything else, it's.
Yeah, but it's so caked in powdered sugar and batter that you can't really.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
The one I really liked was when Bennigan's was around. When Bennigan's was around, they had a really good one. And now they're all out of business.
We had a Bennigan's that was in town, and we used to go and just get appetizers, just like the table full of appetizers, because the burgers and everything else were whatever, but they had like the best loaded potato skins ever at Bennigan's.
Yeah.
They got some desserts and a bunch of different drinks. There's a couple of beers and an adult lemonade type thing, which I could care less for, and your basic beers, nothing crazy. So it doesn't seem like they've capitalized on any sort of specialty beverages, which maybe over time, or maybe they're not gearing towards that.
Yeah, that's kind of my guess. Is it's because the whole concept is it's supposed to be what you might have in your lunchbox, right? Like,
that's true. Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not super excited about the menu, but I'm gonna.
No, I'm not either. It just seems, at least it's not just hot dogs and chicken nuggets.
Right.
This is what I was getting at. It is different than anything else you can get. But yeah, it's nothing that jumps out at me. It's like, oh, I got to try that.
Yeah.
Is Hollywood Studios known as a park that has really good food overall?
No.
It isn't.
It depends.
People are hit or miss with the quick service restaurants. As far as quick service goes, the best one was the Studio Catering Company, which is closed now because that's where all the new stuff is going. That, to me, had the best menu out of all of them. Better than Backlot over by Indiana Jones.
Right.
And that's it. You really don't have any other quick serve.
No,
besides Rizzo.
No, you've got the stuff along...
Oh, the commissary's terrible.
It's not that bad.
That's not...
I had a salad there that was pretty good.
Yeah. Was it? I don't know. I haven't eaten there in years because it was
But you've got the stuff over by Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've even limited...
a burger place and a pizza place, and some of it's open seasonal. And
yeah, like Fairfax Fair and all. Yeah, but they took away the bakery, the starring rolls that had the good breakfast stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And it used to be able to get the egg sandwiches either at Catalina Eddie's or one of those other ones, but I don't even think they do that anymore. So it's...
And the table services are not good. I don't like Hollywood and Vine.
Hollywood and Vine I don't like.
No, I like Brown Derby though.
No, yeah, that's true.
I've never eaten there.
And I've never
Brown
eaten
Derby?
Brown Derby.
Yeah,
but
I don't know why.
Oh.
I know. As I feel like as an adult.
You're missing out, man.
I know, because I know there's stuff there I like.
Listen, go to the lounge. It's cheaper, and you can see it to the menu. Like we did the Cobb salad at the lounge, and it was awesome.
And that's the only place that's allowed to serve the Cobb salad east of the Mississippi.
Right, that's what I've heard. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like Mama Melrose. I used to enjoy, but the last time we ate there, I didn't care for the meal at all. So I'm like, screw it. There's better Italian food at either Trattoria Al Forno or Via Napoli, so I don't need to go to Mama Melrose.
I'd rather go get a pretzel and beer and listen to crappy music than eat at Mama Melrose's.
That's right, at baseline.
And then we've already touched on pizza Rizzo.
Right.
Oh.
It's the same pizza. It's still crap.
Yeah. I really like 50s Primetime. I've never had a bad meal there, and I've never had a bad experience. I know some people don't like the shtick. They think the food is overrated. It's not food it's comfort food, and I live in the north, so Southern comfort food.
And that's another place that you can go sit in the tune-in lounge and order the food from there, too.
It's fantastic. I have not ever had a bad thing on that menu.
We've done that a few times.
So to answer your question, Jessica, it's mixed.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. It's interesting to hear because I've been there one time, so I don't really know any. I think we did a Phantasmic package at Hollywood and Vine or something, and it was just a buffet, so I didn't really have a full dining experience there. So
that's all that place has ever been. It's a character buffet or regular buffet or this, that, and the other. It's not. It's a buffet.
So I got the experience then.
When I think good food, I don't think let's go to Hollywood Studios.
No, definitely not. But if you're there is a few options. People complain about sci-fi. I don't mind it. I've the few times we've eaten there, I've not had a bad meal. It's burgers, it's sandwiches. I think last time I had a sandwich there, it was really good. I like the little goofy movie. It's fun. The kids loved it last time. They thought it was hysterical. So to me, that's a win.
They used to have really good ribs.
Did they? I don't know. I've only ever had like
Coca-Cola barbecue ribs.
Oh yes, you're right. That's right. There's a recipe for that online somewhere.
I have that recipe.
I think Debs has it on her website. Yeah.
It's in one of the cookbooks we bought my daughter.
I think it is as well, yes. So, yes. Long answer that Adrianne answered for you, Jessica. If you're thinking food, Studios is last on the list. Maybe only Magic Kingdom may just be below that because there's nothing there either. Except for beer.
Yeah, but you have more ambiance there. And I had a great time at Be Our Guest, so that wins a lot of points.
I did too. It didn't wow me as much as it did everybody else, but yes, I did have good dinner there.
But I get what you're saying. It's not, if you need something really good to eat and that's a priority, then you don't go to Hollywood Studios. That's what you're saying.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Right.
You got Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Springs if that's your thing, but park-wise, those other, you got two other parks that you can, eat at many different places without repeating during the course of your vacation. So anyway, back to Toy Story, because, we wander.
What we do.
It is what we do. All right. So
Never.
So we talked about the coaster, the swirling saucers, Toy Story Mania, Lunchbox. So now we have the Slinky Dog Dash, which I get, we mentioned in passing, but I don't know. I think this thing is going to be really fun. It looks like it's 2-seater, side by side. I don't know how many cars are on it or what the capacity is, but thematically, it's just an open air coaster, and it looks like you're just going by some of the bigger. I think the Giant Buzz is outside of that, and Rex, I believe, all wrapped in Christmas lights.
And Jessie, I think.
Yeah. The big
those icons look humongous.
They do. I was just.
They are humongous.
I caught myself, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's funny. The big Woody is by the entrance to.
Yeah.
Is by the entrance to Toy Story Land, so.
But they almost look comparable to when we stayed at Toy Story All Stars. What was that? All Star Movies? I can't remember.
Yes.
But I mean, those were humongous. And then I'm looking on the map, the Buzz next to Alien Swirling Saucers looks huge.
Yeah.
They're not animatronic, are they? They're just statues.
No, they're just static. Well, see, that was the other thing that I think I heard a lot of people that were saying were looking like they basically just plucked the same statues from the, horribly themed All-Stars Resort and just plopped them into Toy Story Land. I can't imagine
How else do you do that, though? How many ways can you make Woody?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So, people just like to nitpick.
Well, that's what it is. It just drives me nuts. I'm like, if they're giant statues, they're going to be lifelike and real looking. They're not going to be giant animatronics, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's supposed to be whimsical and fun. Leave it alone.
Right.
Just take your kids there and freaking enjoy it.
Exactly.
Right.
Go spend your money and don't gripe.
Right. Because the problem is, and I know we've talked about this many episodes ago, and I was at fault of doing it when I first started going with my kids. You just start, because everything, you think, everything's not as good as what it used to be. Well, once your kids are of age and they start hearing you complain about that stuff, then they're just not going to want to go anymore. And then what are you going to do?
Waste thousands of dollars to be miserable.
Because then the kids aren't going to want to go back when you're like, we're going to Disney World next year for our family vacation, and kids are going to be like, no, I don't want to go. You said everything's no good.
Yep, I'm with you.
So I don't know. Anyway, coaster looks fun. I'm excited to ride it.
Me too.
All my kids can get on it, which is the best, I believe. I don't remember what the specifications were. I think it's the same as. Is it the same as Mine Train? 38 inches or 37, whatever?
No, I think
38 inches, I believe.
Oh, fantastic! So all of my kids, my youngest, can get on it. Good time had by all.
Yep.
And then there's Toy Story Mania, which is going to be, like I said at the beginning, is you're going to be coming into it from, I guess, what was the backside of the building. So what is it? So I guess you're going to be entering kind of where Potato Head used to be, because that would be. Like, looking at the map, that's
he's gone, right?
I believe so. Maybe they're going to have him out there now for this, because the entrance is supposed to look like a prize box or a toy box of some sort.
Show?
Yeah, like a carnival show. So maybe, surprise, surprise, they're going to put him, and he's going to be like a barker out and not in the attraction, so people don't stop and take pictures of him in the queue line. That would be awesome if they have him out there working again. Oh, man, that would be fantastic.
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either, but I got to imagine they try to keep something hush. It's kind of impossible these days, but...
I love how they changed the Fast Pass system so that the only attractions that are Tier 1 are in
all of the new ones, yeah.
Like, I love it. I was like, you mean I can get a Slinky Dog and a Rock and Roller Coaster and a Tower of Terror? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that temporary though, or is that indefinite?
I don't know.
I think that remains to be seen.
I guess they'll see how it does. How irate people get about it, but I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I trust people to get plenty irate. Don't worry.
Of course they will.
People always pull through.
Well, it's the same thing they did with Pandora. They put the two new attractions are both. Oh no, actually not, because
that system had never been tiered before.
You can't. That's true, because you can't get both. You cannot get both Pandora rides.
Right.
Whereas if you wanted, I guess you can't do that in Toy Story either, right? They're all Tier 1, I guess.
Yeah, they're all Tier 1.
And they moved everything else to the second tier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm curious, because that's, like I said, that's so different.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
surprised
to
how that tiered system already works.
I'm surprised they left the Alien ride as a Tier 1.
Temporary.
Because
it'll probably end up being shifted around.
The Alien one doesn't seem to be I wouldn't think is like an e-ticket ride to me.
Right. It's the Navi to Flight of Passage.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So maybe that'll get knocked down after the initial period or something. Maybe they'll swap that with either they'll move it down and either put Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster up one. Who knows? Because those are the only two they can move around.
Yeah, and Mission Space for some reason ends up getting flip flopped on that list sometimes. But
yeah,
I'm just like, okay,
it's okay, sure.
Yeah,
it's pretty much it's a walk on now.
Exactly. Gosh. But I am happy because as an adult, as us doing this as an adult only trip, like those are the only 3 rides I really cared about anyway. So bring it on.
Yeah, gotcha.
Everything.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome if you think about it in that respect, because you could rope drop to the area and do Toy Story Mania at rope drop, because nobody's going to be running to that, and then you have your fast passes for the other 3.
Right.
That's pretty cool if you think about it.
And then, like I said, we're going at night, so we're saving like alien swirling saucers and all that for, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock,
right,
when everybody else is taking their kids back home.
Yeah.
So,
when you could probably just stand by.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, that's good.
How it all turned out.
So let's see. So besides the attractions and the quick service eatery, streetmosphere, if you would, or entertainment. There's going to be some sort of drum corps show with Sarge and the Green Army Men, where I'm assuming it's going to be something like what the Janitors do, but this seemed to be a little more interactive with like a boot camp aspect to it. So maybe like it's going to get kids and stuff involved in it. So that'd be interesting. That's kind of all I found on it. I don't know what exactly.
Yeah, it's not very specific. I kind of wondered if it was just going to be like March of the First Order, just with Green Army Men.
I hope not. I hope it's a little more than that. Because the Green Army Men are fun as the walk-around characters. They really, really are very interactive. So if they're going to do some sort of little, 6-8 minute show, multiple times a day, I think that would be pretty cool. And then obviously still be walking around for some sort of meet and greet would be great. And that's kind of that's all I found online about it. I mean, it's all the stuff that's out there. So none of this is, secret information, but I guess we'll see what else happens as when it opens and as people start reporting on it, and I'm sure it'll be vloggers and bloggers and oh my. And you'll be able to, instantaneously you'll be able to know everything about it. If you choose.
Both a pain and awesome all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I was lamenting the other day, we're going, as part of this whole Pixar insanity this summer, we're doing the H2O Glow Night at Typhoon Lagoon.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm so excited. And I was lamenting the fact that I know nothing about it. There's nothing out there. I don't know how to plan.
Right,
do. And then, there was an article and a YouTube vlog up on it today, and I was like, yes. Now I know what to do.
Yeah, because they had one last weekend?
Yeah, it just started last Thursday and last Saturday.
Yeah, because I know a couple of people who went and said it was fantastic.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
So that might actually get me to go to a water park if I came and did that. Because it's without the kids, so I don't have to worry about, dragging them around. And
so we're stuffing this adult-only trip with so much stuff.
You might as well.
Exactly.
You have to.
Now, did you guys see the article about the difference between day and night?
I did not.
The Slinky Dog coaster?
Well, the whole land.
Oh.
So there's a musical theme that changes at night that the lights react to.
Oh, cool.
Cute.
In the area. So
I'm all about that.
So riding Slinky Dog during the day will be a completely different experience than it will be at night.
I love that.
I think I saw a nighttime ride-through, maybe.
Yeah, and there's a video on the parks blog.
Yeah.
Oh, that I did not see.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's lighting all over the place because, they've got, those strings of lights hanging that are going to change colors.
Yeah.
All that stuff, so.
Awesome. I love that when they do stuff like that. The technology is there, to do that kind of stuff, so. Fantastic. All right, so in conjunction with this, even though it is open already, but over in California, you had Pixar Pier, which was basically the overlay of, I guess, Paradise Pier. So
half of Paradise Pier.
Or half of, right. So I guess Jessica's going to fill us in on what's going on over there, because it is open, right? It opened last week?
It opened 2 days ago. Saturday.
2 days. Oh, Saturday. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it'll definitely not be as in-depth as our discussion of Toy Story Land, because like you just said, it's not a new land. It's a retheming of an existing one. But one thing that's funny is I think it's the most absurd upcharge I've ever seen, but they charged $300 for Friday night a preview to go in the land, which is already insane.
I saw that. It's ludicrous.
On top of that, it was open during the day to just park. So can you imagine spending $300 and then people were just in it for free?
I don't get it. Yeah. What the hell was the perk to that?
And it wasn't a party. It was just access to the land. And by the way, Pixar Pier, despite being an overlay, is unfinished. So I just don't know how they can justify, but that's a whole nother story. But
then I remember seeing somewhere on Twitter signs of tickets are still available for tonight's event.
Oh yeah.
You think?
Yeah, think. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if any of you listening are familiar with California Adventure, Paradise Pier used to be this huge, it was the biggest land at the resort, 14 acres, across the southern end of California Adventure. And what they've done is they've split it in half. So the side with the Little Mermaid and with kind of the fountain shows and with Goofy and all that is still themed the same, Victorian boardwalk style, and it's called Paradise Gardens Park. And then the other side of the bay, the artificial waterway, that is the boardwalk, the traditional kind of boardwalk, is now Pixar Pier, and it's its own separate land. So when you walk across the bridge over to the boardwalk, there was a very, very famous bar called the Cove Bar, and they've turned it into the Lamplight Lounge, which is just basically Luxo Jr. themed. I guess there are different rooms that have like pictures from Coco and the Coco guitar, and then there's just all kinds of different scenes, and it overlooks the water, and it used to be a restaurant on the bottom and a bar on the top, and now the whole thing, top and bottom, is a bar with appetizers. So sweet. I'm curious to check it out. Yeah. And then the ice cream stand is now the Abominable Snowman Frosted Treats, and they have yellow snow cones and ice and soft serve ice cream. And then when you get into the actual land, there's the Incredicoaster, which is the retheme of California Screamin'. And from what I've heard from people, that's actually not finished either, because when you finish the ride, at the bottom there's just a blank screen. So they're probably going to project something at you there as well further down, but nobody knows what it is.
It's probably a ride photo.
Yeah, it could. That's what a lot of people are thinking. But the premise of the ride is you start by going into the Incredibles or the Par house, and Edna is there with Jack, and Jack takes off, and so you're following the family around trying to catch him, and that's why you're looping around and going crazy. And then I saw a video this morning of the start, because it's just like a Rock and Roller Coaster where you just immediately shoot off, and you're supposed to be with Dash, and the water sprays up just like when he runs across the water, which seems kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
So Pixar Pier, I should mention, it's a couple of different neighborhoods as you move through. So the first neighborhood is the Incredibles area. Then you move into the Toy Story area, and that has it's Jesse's Critter Carousel, which is just a retheme of the King Triton carousel that was there, but that's not open. So that's closed until 2019.
Oh my god.
I know, just to redo a carousel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And then next to that is Midway Mania, which is the same. And then there are two dining areas here, which is Poultry Palace, which is just like chicken nuggets, I think, and popcorn. And then Senor Buzz's Churro Cart.
I love that.
The next neighborhood is called Pixar Promenade, and it's just kind of a general Pixar area. And that's, if you've seen online, there's a lot of pictures of the Luxo Junior Ball fountain that's in the middle, and it's got a bandstand area, and that's where the Ferris wheel is, which is now called the Pixar Pal-Around.
Oh, boy.
And it's just I know.
That's terrible.
People had a meltdown over that one, which is really, that's the best you can do.
That's a bad name.
I don't know. Mickey's Fun Wheel seems just fine to me, but you know what?
Jesus.
Pixar Fun Wheel? I don't know.
Yeah,
really?
I know. Really, just take Mickey's name out. Yeah, Pixar Fun Wheel would have been Pixar Pal-Around.
Pal-Around. Yeah, it's rough.
Boy, that's bad.
And then the last little neighborhood you move into. Oh, and I should mention also that there's boardwalk games and traditional kind of like arcade games in here. Okay. So all the arcades are not dying. There's still one.
So it's kind of like Dino Land.
Yeah, sounds like it, yes.
Similar. And then the last little neighborhood on the boardwalk is the Inside Out neighborhood. And the only thing here that's open is Angry Dogs, which is a hot dog stand after Anger from Inside Out. And it's kind of funny. There are pictures on Twitter. I'll have to post one to the group of he's holding the roof is fire, and he's just like doing his angry, it's not a scream, but you know when he kind of furrows his eyebrows and the fire shoots up, that's the roof of the little building.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But there's supposed to be two things here, and neither of them are open. So one is Bing Bong Sweet Treats, which is just a confectionery. And then the other one is a new kiddie ride that's called the Emotional Whirlwind, and it's a redress of Flick's Flyers in A Bug's Land, which is basically, it's just a kind of a similar ride to Dumbo or the Magic Carpets, where it just kind of takes you in a circle.
Right.
But I think they missed an opportunity to call it the Mood Swings. But
oh, nice. There you go.
Right.
They're swings.
I like it.
Anyway, it's the emotional whirlwind, and that doesn't open until 2019 either.
So
they haven't started it.
So what was the rush to get this open? Then I guess
I think it was two things. One, without the Incredicoaster or that bit of the park and Midway Mania readily accessible, that's a huge traffic flow problem for them because they both have big capacity.
Right.
And the other thing is, I just think they want to get as much open as possible before Star Wars Land, which is next summer. So
right.
If you're gonna do it, I think it makes sense to do it in the summer season, which is peak time.
Yeah.
I agree. It seems it's weird because on the one hand, all it was a retheming, so it's not like they were building stuff from scratch. So you think it seems like it would be no problem to have it ready by this date, but then when you look at it, it's half closed. So you're just thinking, what on earth is the problem?
Well, it's almost like it was an afterthought.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is they're going to start construction on Marvel Land, so I think they wanted to have this ready before they closed off more stuff.
Right? No, I get that, but it just seems odd that. I get it was a retheme, but yeah, maybe like Milford said, like some of the other stuff was the thought after, but to be a fact that it's not opening for another year later, it just says 2019. It doesn't know like time. It's not like the beginning of the year or.
I don't know anything specific, but
so
no,
that's what I mean.
Agree with you.
I mean, if it's like a whole nother year later, then it's like, okay, so now you got a whole of Star Wars Land coming online. Oh, and over here, these two things are ready too, so let's just open those up too. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
you're not gonna they're not gonna open to any fanfare because I mean, let's be honest, when Star Wars Land comes online on both coasts, forget it. That's where everybody's going.
Yeah,
that's where everybody's going.
I've been paying attention. I'm trying to reserve 100% of what I think about it till I actually see it in person, but I've been paying attention to how people have reacted, and it seems pretty split 50-50, where some people think, California Adventure, really did need more characters and more theming, so they're happy with it. But the people that dislike it, their criticisms are kind of exactly what you're saying of it feels like haphazard, panic, quick, just put a theme on it even if it doesn't make sense. And then the other thing is it feels temporary. It looks like they designed it to easily take it apart again.
Right. Which it could be. I mean,
it could be, yeah, which is kind of crappy because next door is Cars Land, which is a perfect example of how you take an IP and make it this immersive, unbelievable experience. And then next door you go to Pixar Pier and it's just, we have, Buzz Lightyear has a churro stand, which
yeah.
So it's not really the same level of in-depth immersion.
Yeah. It's the only reason I could think for that is because, like you said, if it's something that's temporary and easily replaceable, I guess if there's movies that do better down the line, but I don't know, food and snack stands are. I mean, yeah, it's always fun to have a theme to it, I guess, but other than just slapping a name and a character on it, it's not like you're doing any justice for the movies they're representing by just putting a snack stand up.
Well, that's just it, because I really like the idea of there being theming here because it was kind of an underutilized area. So, after I got over the initial shock, I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But just as an example, the Incredicoaster, the racing around, they had the opportunity to actually tell a story instead of just, let's go find Jack Jack. You could have been racing through that island where Mr. Incredible was, right? And you could have been you could have been escaping Syndrome or the Underminer or whatever and had it be storytelling, and none of this is storytelling. It's just, look, here's a thing from Toy Story. Oh, look, here's a thing from Inside Out. So that's the reason I'm hesitant about it, is just because it feels more like a Universal or something, right? Where you're, this is this franchise, but it's not a story.
It's like a carnival.
Kinda, yeah. And I'm not saying I'm gonna hate it because I could turn up and love it, but that's, I think, what worries people, because we don't want that to be the new standard, right? Because Disney's whole thing is it's immersive storytelling.
You would, yes, you hope so. See, now I guess there's a new. I did see video of a new the Incredibles float for the Paint the Night parade, I guess, is new. It's got like the Underminer drill, and it's got
that is cool.
And it had this ridiculous animation of Dash running around it, like with all the light. That was pretty cool looking, and the music was phenomenal. Which is, the
and
Incredibles
in the fireworks. Theme. Yeah, and in the fireworks now, Carl's house floats behind the castle.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool.
So that I saw was really, really nice. I liked that. I mean, I like that. I've only seen videos of that parade, and I really enjoy the videos. I'd love to see it live one day, but that float seemed like a pretty cool addition to it. Yeah, I just hope they don't beat this whole... I haven't seen the movie yet, Incredibles 2, but I hope they don't beat this Jack thing into the ground, because... knowing that the movie takes place immediately after the first one, so obviously there's nobody grew up and got older or anything, but, it seems like his powers are funny and there's probably a lot of comedic moments, but he's still a baby, so I don't know how much you capitalize on a character that's a baby. I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah, but that's kind of it for right now, because nothing, and there are little things too that aren't done. There was supposed to be a giant Emperor Zurg statue next to Senor Buzz's churros, and that just isn't there. And it seems like as this progresses, maybe even through the summer, more little things will pop up, and hopefully that'll help make it feel more cohesive, or at least complete.
Complete, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than the few attractions you mentioned, I guess that other stuff, if it's just like props, I can't imagine once they're done with them, wherever they're being built or made, they can't just drop those into place as neat as done, like you just said.
Because I'm thinking if they're gonna put I'm almost 100% positive that Inside Out attraction is the one from A Bug's Land, because it looks like the same vehicle, and if that's the case, they're gonna have to close off part of this area again to move it into place, because it's right in the middle.
Oh, so they physically removed all the Bug's Land stuff?
It's still open till the end of the summer, which is why the Inside Out isn't open yet. But
I gotcha. Yeah,
it's basically half done, right? Because there are 3 attractions open and 2 closed.
But
so that's almost half.
But like you said, if it's just a re-theme and they're not physically tearing anything out ride system-wise, and they're just re-theming the vehicles and the sets and everything else, I would think some of that stuff is started to have been built or made, and then they're just got to insert it. So
yeah, hopefully.
What else they're doing to make it take another 9 months or whatever it is? I don't, like I said, they don't give a date, but still, I mean, so we're halfway through 2018, so it's at least another 6 months.
Yeah.
Till 2019, and then who knows? They generally don't put new stuff opening right after the holidays, so you figure it's either going to be springtime or who knows, before spring break season hits. I don't know.
That's my guess, but I have no information to base that off.
Right. I'm just trying to think out loud, like what the reasoning would be and what the length of time would take for so, because it seems like the coaster wasn't down very long.
No, and that is the most dramatic change, because they closed the tunnels and they added new music and new voiceovers, and they redid the whole queue area and
all that lighting on the outside, like those crazy LED lights that they put, I saw some videos of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that seems a lot more involved than an attraction that's already there, that they're just redoing the because like when I'm trying to think of another example out there that didn't seem to take as long. So when they changed the Luigi tire thing over to the Mater thing, it wasn't down that long, was it? Or is that a bad example?
when they did the flying tires and they put up, that was about a year.
Oh, it was. Okay.
But they flying tires to the new attraction, they had to kind of rip out the floor because it's magnets underneath or something, and there was a lot of time testing the vehicles.
Oh, was it? Oh, so it was a different system. Okay,
it was building a new system, so I get that.
Gotcha.
But...
all right, I thought it was similar in. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but with this, it's just with the carousel, it's just putting new animals instead of fish.
Right.
And then with the one from A Bug's Land, it's just changing the colors and the paintings on the cars. I mean, it shouldn't take a year.
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But
who knows? Who knows? And then so what else was there that left? The Heimlich train, that went, that's altogether gone, right? Nothing was getting changed over on that.
The only thing that's gone right now from A Bug's Land is the It's Tough to Be a Bug show.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest of A Bug's Land closes at the end of the summer.
Right, but nothing's coming of that train thing, right? That's just going all together.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The only thing that looks like to me is being salvaged is the Flix Flyers thing. The choo-choo train, the bumper cars, the Ladybug Boogie. I think that's all just going away.
That's all going away, yeah. Well, that was all, like, more kiddie-ish, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Ladybug Boogie was fun after a couple of drinks in Cars Land. It's one of my favorites, but, I get why it's going.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, hey, so new stuff is always good.
I might be singing a different tune after I go, and I won't shut up about how amazing it is. I don't know.
That's right. Well, then that'll be good. Then, job well done on their part.
I'm open. I'm just nervous. That's all.
I hear you. So it's like Mission Breakout all over again.
Oh, that was a grief process, though. I'm not grieving anything.
I know. I just think it's funny because all the hatred died like immediately after that attraction opened up again. I mean, you still had some, but I think the overwhelming response was like, "Holy crap, this is amazing."
Well, that'll probably be true. I mean, this has been open for 2 days, so that'll probably be true for this too.
Right. So we'll see.
We shall see.
So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, that's everything we know of right now. And with this stuff coming online, and like I said, everybody will be listening to this either Friday or Saturday. So we'll find out. Adrianne's going to be visiting in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure she'll give us a report of everything she got to experience. And
of course,
we'll get the adults' perspective on it, because, like she said, she's just her and her husband, so we won't know how kids enjoy it, but we can at least get the adult perspective on it, and that'll actually, Adrian's like a kid anyway, so
true.
It'll be. we'll get a good enough report on it.
Pray for my husband, because I'm already so excited, and I've gotten down to where I'm at the planning outfit stage, and so I bought a Pizza Planet t-shirt from Kohl's, and I'm super excited. Y'all, you have no idea. Like, today I looked at him and I held his hand and I said, "What should I wear to Animal Kingdom?" And he goes, "I really thought you were going to say something nice about me." I said, "You're really sweet. Now what should I wear to Animal Kingdom?"
Oh, man.
So, yes.
Does he, completely off topic, but I'm just wondering, does he wear Disney clothes? Is he like all in on the trips, or is he just...
He's not all in, but I have bought him some shirts. Like, I bought him a Captain America shirt. He has a Mickey shirt that he loves. He wears it around here still. There's another one that he really... I stole his Christmas Stormtrooper shirt.
No!
And oh my god, it's awesome. And he had it says best dad ever instead of best day ever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's like in a Mickey thing. So, I mean, he has a few, but he's like, I'm going to wear cargo shorts and I'm going to wear a t-shirt. Yeah, and I'm saying, okay, what outfit am I going to wear with what ears?
Yeah.
And then what shoes? Like,
you
it's
have to
very
accessorize.
important.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I do the cargo shorts in the park, too, only because it's nice to throw a bunch of crap in your pockets.
Yes.
Even though I carry a backpack anyway, but still.
No, we're trying to move towards bagless. Now that our kids are getting older, we're trying really hard to go through the guests without bag lines.
I hear you. I always bring my camera, so it's hard.
But yeah, well, it's one of the reasons I upgraded to an iPhone Plus, so I could get a good...
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. But yes, I have a childlike joy when it comes. So yeah, very childlike.
Well, I do too, because I have, I mean, I know we've talked about this many episodes probably ago, but 90% of my clothing is Disney themed something or other. So yeah. It's hard for me to find a shirt in my wardrobe that doesn't have something Disney on it. And that's that's in everyday life. It's not only when I'm down in Disney World, it's harder. I'm like, all right, what cool shirts can I wear down there besides the ones I wear all the time up here? I'm like, I need like different stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we're not talking about this now, but I find myself, I just ordered a bunch of stuff through a TeePublic shop from a guys that I know from the Retro WDW podcast, because they were having like one of those flash sales where it's like $14 t-shirts. So I was like, oh, different stuff that nobody's going to get except for people who were like, went to Epcot when it first opened. Because it's just like obscure, but I like the designs, and it's not off the rack stuff.
Right.
So I find I don't buy too much stuff anymore when I'm actually in the park, unless it's like something really, really different. But what are you going to do?
What you gonna do?
Nothing. All right. So that is going to do it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope everybody enjoys Toy Story Land. I have a feeling all of us involved in this podcast will, on both coasts. Jessica, would you have any plans to head out down there to check any of that stuff? Whatever's open anytime soon, or?
I would love to, but now I kind of want to wait till that really cool outer space restaurant opens in Epcot. Because I want to go to that.
Oh, yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
I definitely do too. How about for new stuff by you? You heading down to Disneyland anytime soon?
I don't have any plans yet. I need to figure it out. But probably in the fall, because I always go in the fall. So I just never feel the need to be the first one to see something. So
no,
I don't feel
either.
this fire under my butt,
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, I think that's going to wrap this episode up. And if anybody listening is going to be attending in the next couple of weeks, or at least until Adrianne goes, enjoy it, and let us know on our Facebook page if you enjoy it, or on Twitter, or anywhere else. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to everyone next week.
See you later. Bye-bye now. Hope you had a good time. So long from Jiminy Cricket and Spectral Magic.